is not vote at all, leave the issue as it is, let the representatives from both communities or all stakeholders, frankly, in this thing, sit around and come up with a solution that works for all. I can tell you, changing Pershing Drive to any other name, it's not going to make this community on this side of the aisle happy at all. So do the right thing, and the right thing sometimes is to do nothing. Okay? One of the things that I learned when I went to business school from my strategy professor was the first option always, when you make a business decision, is to do nothing. Sometimes doing nothing is the best thing. Postpone your decision, let the community come together, solve the problem, then a group representative from both of these communities will get together with you and bring the solution to the table, and if they cannot agree, then you have another hearing and cast the vote. I think it is important for the city, for this community, for you guys to act with patience and with logic. And I'm not hearing us going down that path at all tonight. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Before you go, I've got a question for you. Sir, may I ask you a question?
No, I made my speech. I'm going to sleep.
Lucky you.
Work to do.
Yeah. Oh, I just like to explore your idea a little bit further in terms of if we decide to basically lay this thing on the table, what mechanism could you see that we could use to move forward? I guess you'd want to find representatives of the Iranian community and representatives of the Temple community and have a series of meetings and talk about it?
And have meetings. I mean, both of these communities come from an old culture. We know how to deal with each other, believe it or not. And given the opportunity, I'm sure we can sit across from each other, listen to each other, come up with a solution that works one way or the other. And at the end of the day, no harm done. If we can't reach a conclusion, then it comes back to you folks and you make your decision again. You've heard everything you need to hear tonight. You've heard the Indian community side, you've heard the Persian community side, you've heard the other parties that are involved in this name change, you've heard business people. You've got the information to make a decision. It's just a question of what decision you're going to make and how are you going to get there. And what I'm proposing to you is do not make a decision tonight. Let the communities work it out. If they cannot work it out, then you guys announce your decisions, and the communities have to live with that consequence, and I believe the city council has to live with that consequence of that decision, because it could be very divisive. I'm sorry. So don't do it. Do nothing.
Okay. Thank you very much. Very well. Anyway, Sefri Fad, followed by Mustafa Tufig. Is F. Sefri Fad here? Okay, how about Mustafa Tufig? Is Mustafa here? Okay, I don't see Mustafa. How about Steve DeSimone, followed by Tom Mayer?
Good evening. I'm Steve DeSimone, Honorable Mayor, Vice Mayor, and member of the City Council. Finally made it. I'm here as actually a member of the local neighborhood. I live on La Rochelle Terrace, which directly feeds into Pershing Drive. So unlike people here who may be from Gilroy and other parts of the community, I'm more or less directly affected by this name change.
Well, I don't believe we really found out where people come from. We haven't asked people to give their addresses.
No, that's true, but I was just pointing out that some people have come from quite a distance away. I have a very direct stake in this, in that directions to my house involve Pershing Drive, and I'm very definitely impacted by this. I am opposed to this renaming. Pershing Drive has existed for over half a century according to the staff. It's known to thousands of individuals. It's out there on tens of thousands of maps. It's in databases that are all around the world. In spite of all the best efforts of the City Council and the Temple, it's going to be impossible to recall all of those maps and databases and make sure that they're updated in a timely manner. During that time, during that period of time, which can be several years, when the names in the databases, the names on the map do not reflect the names on the sign. There's going to be confusion. Renaming West Pershing Drive also creates a spot where 5 different drives come together. You have the exit ramp from 237, you have Fair Oaks Way, you have Pershing Drive, East Pershing Drive, you have La Rochelle Terrace, and potentially now Mandir Drive. This creates more confusion rather than less. The resulting confusion of all this will lead to lost delivery truck drivers, costing people money. Lost home hunters. I may lose a buyer on my house because they can't find their way because the map doesn't correspond to the new signs. Lost emergency vehicle drivers, which is potentially the most serious consequence, where a few seconds of confusion on the part of an ambulance driver could cost somebody their life. So changing a street name is a very serious matter that impacts many lives. It's not just a matter of one culture versus another. Part of the problem that I see here is that the city's newly adopted renaming policy from, I think, this past April is not so much a policy as it is a laundry list of how we would look at a name and decide whether or not that particular proposed name is appropriate or not.